in my opinion, the best player will not win this season.
Aubrey gets zero credit on this podcast until she apologizes to Michelle.
So I'm actually going to try to get rid of the person I'm the least prepared for, which is the one sometimes that's closest to me. I don't want to judge them on their past seasons. I want to judge them based off of, how they treat me. Telling people that you don't watch the shows is the move.
I think Tiffany's up on the chopping block next. She doesn't have the numbers. She's a goner.
It's definitely a card female players in these style of games can play. Haters are always going to be louder than people that are rooting you on. A go ahead is actually the funniest thing that he said the whole time. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, anybody who identifies as anything other than that, welcome back to the Paulie Dev Show. Episode 10. We made it. Mama, we made it. Throw your 10s up. Okay? That's what my bod's going to be walking into July. All right? So none of you care about that except for me, and that is fine. Paulie, how the hell are you?
Dev. I'm great. Episode 10, walking into summer with our bodies out of 10. I'm feeling hot.
I'm
feeling nice. The chemistry's here. People are loving it. We got to roast the host. We have an electric Survivor episode to go over. And by the way, Drake dropped 3 albums.
3?
3.
Huh.
Or am I reading the X stuff wrong? Like he dropped something and he made it into like a 3-part album?
Kind of fire. Typically, he doesn't miss much, so I'm sure there's going to be some bangers on there.
Yeah, he doesn't miss much. I'm a Drake guy. I also like Kendrick, but I'm a Drake guy mainly because in college, big Drake guy when we were in the NCAA tournament, when we were making it to the Sweet 16. And believe it or not, I don't know if you remember this, Dev, but Final Reckoning, the song of TYB was nice for what?
Yeah, it was nice for what?
So Corey and Nelson.
And then the song for the girls was Cardi B.
It was Cardi B. It was Cardi B.
I'm feeling hot, hot, hot or something. No, that wasn't it. It was like a remake of another song.
I like it like that.
Sexy Mama Hot Tamale. Yeah, I like it like that.
Yeah. That one.
Yeah.
It was good.
Sexy Mama Hot Tamale. Speaking of hot tamales, Survivor 50, episode 12. Scorching. We should not be reality TV winner predictors.
We're 0 for 2.
We're 0 for 4.
Well, 0 for 4 as a whole, but me and you 0 for 2 each.
Yes. Yeah, collectively. In the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's not a great percentage.
Yeah. We're great final 8ers.
Fade us on Polymarket. So we're going to do the thing we do every time, which is start at the end of the episode. Goodbye, Rick Devens. We share a name, but yours is your last and spelt differently. Needless to say, what an entertainer. Rick Devens, gone too soon. Had it in the bag. Critical error in my mind from Suri. Eliminating Devens in a 6-0 vote. We know how persuasive Suri could be. We weren't there based off of what happened to her. Maybe the writing was on the wall with the rest of them. But I would have liked to see her make a stronger push to protect Devens.
I am with you 100% on this. And
that was her insulation.
That was her insulation. And I know sometimes it's hard to be the outsider looking in, but I feel like we have a little bit experience in keeping shields around in order to make sure you're not the shield. And I think the critical error, surprisingly enough, and I don't know why she did it, but like protecting Rizgod, it was
made
there.
No sense.
Yeah, it was there. You had Rick on board. You had Tiff on board. Just needed you on board.
Yeah.
Needed you on board.
I mean, it was, I guess, still in that situation. It's not quite the majority, but it makes it more interesting, and maybe you can pull one more.
I think could have pulled Aubrey or maybe Jonathan.
Yeah, you would have still needed another one, but this reminded me of a strategy I'm very familiar with because I'm not saying that all the people left in this game are layups. But what I am saying is they targeted the two people that were set up the best to win, which is a strategy that I've used on the challenge earlier in my career very successfully multiple times, which
Hmm.
is get rid of the rookies first and then start picking off the people that can beat you in a final
Hmm.
and get the other people that can beat you in a final to agree to pick them off so that you can then rally the rest of the people and say, we don't have a chance to beat this person. Let's all get them out. Now, that has faded in recent seasons, but it was done to me actually on All Stars 5.
Yes.
And I told them all what was going to happen was that Frank and Sam, Veronica and Katie got in cahoots. They made a plan. If we can move Dario away from Leroy, then we're going to have the numbers to send in Adam and Steve. And when we send in Adam and Steve, we will put in Devin and Leroy. They ended up getting Fessy and Amber. They ended up getting Daria and I think her name's Nicole, maybe. No, it's
I think it
not.
was Ashley.
Ashley,
Yes.
Dario and Ashley. So I said very, very clearly to them, you guys know what this means, right? You can't see the writing on the walls. You think you're a part of that group. You're a part of our group. You
Hmm.
are strong teams. Once one of us is gone, right? If we go in against each other, Adam and Steve versus Devin and Leroy, the obvious male male matchup,
Hmm.
who do you think they're going to put against the team that wins to try to get them out next time? They're going to try to put in the teams that they think they have the best chance at beating them. That's going to be you guys and Nani and Turbo. Those
Hmm.
are the only teams in here that can beat them. And what ended up happening, of course, everyone turns on each other because their shield was eliminated.
Yep.
They're next in the pecking order. And unfortunately, I don't know if Cerise saw it and just was like, I'm going to go out. Like, this is how I'm comfortable going out if I go out this way, or if she had a false sense of security about her placement in the game, or what ended up, like, what got her there. But there, in my opinion, and it's easy to Monday morning quarterback, I get that. There should have been a Hail Mary, throw everything at the wall pitch to try to save your insulation.
Yes.
I don't. I mean, again, maybe I'm missing something, but the way it played was that there was an angle.
There was for sure an angle. I think Devins could have been gotten out at like the fifth. And I think the fear of him finding an idol is what made people move in that direction, which is crazy because the fear of him finding an idol when Rizzo has an idol. This is now 2 seasons back to back that Rizzo has made it this far, idol in hand, telling everybody he has it, and just sitting there at Tribal doesn't use it. Big old set of balls on Rizzo.
Huge.
Huge. I think the tactical error that you're pointing out is 100% spot on. This is something that Zach and CT actually taught me early on. They go strong person alliance
Yep.
for as long as you can ride the strong person alliance, then you start to take the indirect shots. Then you take the direct shots when the indirect shots aren't happening. And I think Sari was in a position to sway everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody. And protecting Devins, I think, ultimately would have protected Serene. I think she should have changed her strategy the second she found out that Ozzy threw her under the bus in a way. Because
100%.
Ozzy outing the final whatever now puts in everybody else's head that Ozzy's in jury. Ozzy's going to be fighting for Suri. She's got to go and be on jury together. And maybe the Boston Rob pep talk to Jonathan before this season was absolutely dynamite because it seems like he's playing a Boston Rob game, and he's not even on the radar. I don't even understand why they're not looking at Jonathan and Joe as potential people to win immunities out to punch their ticket to the final. Now Tiffany's the only other person capable of winning an immunity, which we saw.
I think there was an opportunity for it to go Riz God, Tiffany. And if it goes Riz God, Tiffany, I think we get what we all wanted, which was a Devins Surrey final three, and let them dog it out with the jury. In my opinion, the best player will not win this season,
It
no
usually,
matter who's left. And that includes Joe.
yeah, that includes Joe. The best player very rarely wins Survivor because it starts to get wild in the latter half. And I would rather see two or three people sitting in those seats who were like, I balled this season.
Balled hard.
And it all comes to how you sway the jury with your words. I think it's heartbreaking. Obviously, our two picks that we wanted to win gone. I think one of Cerie's most masterful seasons, which just goes to show you how hard this game is, because all it took was just one lapse in judgment, right? Because even with Devon's going, she did still have the opportunity to throw Rizzo under the bus. Instead, she tried to throw Aubrey under the bus.
Yeah, but it was the wheels were already in motion there. That wasn't that was it was kind of a double statistical error on her part, which is why I err on the side of false sense of security.
Yeah,
And not
I can
to
see that.
that's not a shot at her. That's just a I mean, that's the name of the game as I'm learning while I watch this show and I'm just starting to figure it out. Talk about paranoia. It makes things a lot more clearly, a lot more clear when I watch survivors and Big Brother players play different games, the
Mhm.
level of paranoia that they have and kind of sometimes just the bad game moves that they'll make like on the challenge, like a Jay, for instance.
Yeah.
Like Jay throwing in Jack on Ride or Dies.
Oh, yeah.
Jack would have rode with him till the wheels fell off. And obviously Michelle and Laurel didn't get along, and maybe there was a Michelle ultimatum in there somewhere. But if you're Jay in that situation, it's got to be completely off the table. That was like the one person that really had Jay.
Yeah.
And I think, okay, major thought that just came to me, but I've been getting here a little bit throughout my process of watching this show. I started thinking, and I'll just use CBS shows in general, although Amazing
Mhm.
Race isn't like this, but definitely Big Brother and Survivor in the challenge. Would those players, for the most part, and I think you would agree to this, play what would be considered to be a snaky game? I actually don't think it's rooted in intentional deception and instead that it's rooted in paranoia from the previous games they play because so many people are backstabbing at all times. It's like a
Mhm.
shoot first mentality if you think
Yes.
it's even a possibility. So even if you're close with people, even if you're friends with them, it almost is like I'm less fearful of the person I'm not close with
Right.
because they're not going to be able to blindside me. So I'm prepared for them. So I'm actually going to try to get rid of the person I'm the least prepared for, which is the one sometimes that's closest to me. And I always
Yes.
thought that was sneaky and snaky, but I'm actually just realizing that is kind of the strategy in those games in some sense.
Oh
What's your
yeah.
thoughts
It
there?
well, it's for sure. I agree with you 100%. It's for sure rooted in paranoia, and they don't tend to switch their minds off if they play a game like the challenge, because in these games, if you've noticed, it's very tight-lipped, it's very whispery, not too many explosions, right?
Well,
Now we've
no
seen
booze. No booze makes it all so much more. makes the lock boxes so much more tight. I mean, unless you're Emily Flippin.
Unless you're Emily
Yeah.
Flippin.
Which, Mount Rushmore
R.I.P.
of
Flips.
secret telling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Flips, dude.
Yeah.
But I
R.I.P.
agree
Flips.
with you, man. It totally gives a certain level that doesn't play the game. Whereas, but some people like I looked when I came to the challenge, I was like, this is great. I love the non-paranoia aspect of it because you literally can pick people and be like, I'm riding with this. Because the fear of getting screwed over is what? You go down to elimination and now you're like, oh, that sucks. But you have to lose that elimination to be like, wow, this really sucks, which is a possibility. I think Sari put a little bit too much trust in Rizgod.
Yeah.
And I think that was the Achilles heel. And I don't know if she would have made the same mistake had she been able to watch his season and see him roll his way all the way to the end with an idol, which he hasn't been telling people how he played out his season. You know what I mean? So
Dude, I used to think it was cool to not watch the show that you're on. It's so stupid.
so stupid.
It's so stupid. And I'm not accusing any of these people of doing that, but if they haven't been keeping up, you can get so much data on interpersonal relationships and inner
Oh,
workings just by watching the previous episodes that it's like it's like a cheat code truly to watch. Now, it maybe we all know that there's different versions of events and it's not always how it played out. They may miss a conversation or they didn't get a good audio of a conversation that, it helps explain someone's tactics or rationale as to why they did something. But what you do gain from it is at least a ballpark picture of how people play. And
yep.
that is so valuable. I would be like, I don't want to judge them on their past seasons. I want to judge them based off of, how they treat me. But then it's like if you get burned by the same shit that they did the last time, it's no one's fault but your own. And I've done that to myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. No, it's huge. I mean, anybody, and I criticize anybody who goes on to the challenge and like when people show up and they're like, "Well, yeah, I never watched the season." I'm like, "You're dumb,"
That was me.
you
I
know?
didn't even know. I didn't even know what the show was.
Right, right. Like
Yeah.
I remember like when I first got the call, which would have been for Vendettas, I went and I binge watched
Yeah.
everything. Everything. You know what I mean? But then you are able to use that to your advantage because, and the way I used it early on was, well, now I know how people are going to try and manipulate me, so I'm just going to let them. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And that's the biggest play is like the more dangerous person,
Mm.
in my opinion, is the person who can sit there and have conversations and make you believe they're being manipulated while then kind of feeding that information elsewhere. And I kind of
Watching
feel like that's where Rizzo was doing this season.
watching the shows and then telling people that you don't watch the shows is the move.
It's top tier. It's top tier. I used it a little differently because I played to like the egos, right? Now you on our first season, you were gone and then you came in like
Halfway through.
towards the end, right? But I sat there and I was like, I know that these older guys, they've got egos, right? So I'm just gonna tell them I'm a super fan of the show, and
Right.
I love it, right? And then I was just gonna watch how they did it, right? And like it happens organically, right? Like they start telling you the war stories, they start getting you hyped up, they start saying things like you could be the next one, like stick with me, like all that stuff, and you're just kind of sitting there just being like, this is how they manipulate. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I think this is also where like someone like Wes has gotten burned in the past because he is able to be the shield for so many people that want to play the game with him because he'll organize the whole thing for you like
Wes
right
gets
away.
the worst rap in the history of the challenge.
Wes gets
He
used more than he
he
uses.
Oh, dude, he doesn't really even use. There's
Yeah.
been so many opportunities on that show and in life for him to exploit people and he just doesn't do it. He's actually a really good dude. And
Yeah.
it's just, I say this all the time, and I've sounds like a broken record if people have ever listened to a podcast I've been on, because I say it almost all the time. No one can offer somebody a better deal and get laughed out of the room more than Wes Bergman. He will actually offer a mutually beneficial, probably slightly tilted in your favor deal,
Yeah.
and people will laugh him out of the room and say,
Yeah.
"There's just I'm just not interested." It's just and it's because it's the fear. I get a little bit of the same treatment. It is because of the fear that if even there's a 10 or a 5% chance that you get burned by Wes or by Devin, it's going to be viral. And everyone's going to say, how did you fall for it? When the truth is, if you were to go back and you were to look at our track records, right? I
Right.
have had 4 opportunities to split money. I've split money 4 times. I
Hmm.
have never broken a deal that I have with somebody. Literally ever. I have never said I'm going to vote one way and voted a different way. I have
Hmm.
never told people that I was going to throw a challenge and not thrown it. I've never told people I wasn't going to throw one and thrown it. I have
Hmm.
done literally, when talk about turbo dishonorable shit, I actually haven't done any of that stuff. Not because I care about being honorable, but because I don't think you have to.
Yeah.
And what ends up what ends up happening is for people that are transparent. Like I've gotten a lot of shit for making 2 or 3 episode deals, sometimes
Hmm.
even one. The reason I do that is because I don't want to write a check I can't cash. If I
Right.
tell you we're going to the end and you were going to the end and you were going to the end, and then we get to the end and I have to choose, I have to lie to
Right.
somebody. So I
Yeah.
would rather make a 2 show deal or whatever it is. If you're not really my friend, if you're my friend, we're playing together. If I'm feeling you out, we don't know each other, I'm seeing it where this is going to go. I'm going to make an expiring deal.
Yeah.
The deal is now over. If you want to continue it and I want to continue it, then let's make a new deal. We have now both completed our obligation of this previous deal. If the game shifted, if there was a twist, if I can no longer protect you, I don't have to re-sign the contract.
Oh yeah, like and honestly, I will say this. I will go on record saying this. I have experienced both that with you and Wes. Now I know mine and your time of playing has been limited, unfortunately for the fans, because like
Truly.
you want a full season of Dev and I actually spinning the game together. You want to talk about entertainment plus chaos. But I remember I've spoken to Wes, and when we've had conversations and he lays out a plan, when I go to him with a counter plan, he'll give me back why that plan won't work for him. But then it's my choice to still decide if I want to go with the deal, which essentially absolves him of it. Like I can't get upset if I go with his plan and then when it plays out exactly how he said it would play out as I'm trying to force my plan, can't really get upset at him. And I even remember on 40, I came to you being like, this is how I'm seeing the house. This is how I'm seeing the numbers. If we can do all of these things, this gets us to here. And you're like, I'm a week to week guy.
Straight up.
And you're and I couldn't get upset at it because I'm like, all right, like that, but it's okay. And I think this is where people sometimes get butthurt. I'll never understand reunions. I know people need to air out their grievances, but I'll never understand reunions where people get upset at things not playing out the way they want it to play out when other people do have different ways that it plays out. So you look and Wes look at your stuff as like deals and week to week and expiring deals. And then as things go on, I look at it more of like a chessboard where I try to find my knights, I try to find my rooks, I try to find my bishops, I try to find my king and queen.
Say the other one. Say the
And then
other
I look
piece.
and then I find my pawns.
Yeah, okay. All
And
right. You
then
were
I
leaving
find
out a
my
really important piece
and
there.
and the pawns are so like they're so integral in the game of chess in terms of defense and offense and what it opens up. But the thing is, I only talk to like my backline chess players, right?
Mm.
The pawns get nothing. You know what I mean? So I can't sit there and be upset if somebody who does a week to week deal thing where their week to week deal benefits them if they're using a pawn that I see as a pawn in a more beneficial way to them. You know
Yeah,
what I
you
mean?
can't then get mad at the person that you were trying to essentially manipulate into leaving if they decide
Yeah,
to go and work with somebody else. I think,
exactly.
yeah,
And that's so like that's where people get so butthurt. And
so just to to put a bow on the West thing, he is one of the most transparent game players anyone would ever have the privilege of working with.
mhm,
And he will do exactly what you just said, which is, hey, I see where you're coming from. That's not going to work for me. So I don't want to sign on to it because then I'm going to fuck you over and it's going to make life in this game more difficult for me. It's what's crazy is that his transparency gets masked by manipulative players because they know to get rid of him because they know if that eventually new people are going to see the transparency. So their
mhm,
best shot at getting rid of someone like that is early before he has time to show with actions that he's not full of shit.
mhm,
Because they're going to assume, just based off of being on TV for 25 years, that this is like there's an ulterior motive here.
mhm.
And it takes time to prove to people that there isn't.
Yes.
So the other people that want to play a manipulative game, that know he's going to air them out, and is also going to prove with actions that he's telling the truth, those people want him gone.
Right.
I go back to Double Agents. The first Leroy played and Cam played the sneakiest, brilliant, but sneakiest possible game they could play. Nobody was immune to their wrath because it was his retirement tour. And they
Mhm.
both said, we are going to leave no card left unturned. The first person they went after was Wes.
Yes.
First
Yeah.
person. It was not because Wes was sneaky. It was because they wanted to play an uninterrupted, sneaky game of their own.
100%. And you could see these things from a mile away. And there's benefits and not benefits to both games, right? Like I
Yeah.
think the style in which you and Wes play has more of a longevity if we're talking about back to back to back seasons. Whereas that game Cameron Leroy played on Double Agents, that's kind of like it's a Hail Mary with
Single
the
use.
yeah, with the intention of I'm going to take off a couple seasons so that people forget about this. But, you know, as me as a witness here, doesn't matter how many years go by, if you've played certain types of games and you've mastered those games, it'll carry with you. I was gone for four years, did not change anything. Like there was no way I walked into USA 2 with Josh and Tori and Bananas there where they weren't sitting there being like, you remember War of the Worlds 2? And same thing with Theo coming into 40. Like their
Yeah.
whole mindset was like, if you let this guy have 2 weeks, it's over, you know?
Right.
And that is where, if I ever do go back, like my game has completely changed because I really did look at things like a chessboard where there's the opposing team's chess players. And I like to play this style of game of chess where you try and take out the big pieces first and let the pawns then scurry, right? Because
Yeah.
then now you have more pawns, right? But
Yeah, it's interesting. Conflicting strategies always work, and there's the emotional heartstrings is one that I'm actually surprised. A lot of guys don't do it in the challenge, and
yeah,
it actually doesn't seem like a lot of people do it guys wise in Big Brother or Survivor as well. It's definitely a
yeah,
card female players in these style of games can play, which is like emotional manipulation to some degree. I was surprised actually, and maybe it's just because it wouldn't work, right? But I was a little surprised we didn't see that from Devins or Suri. Like the emotional, like everything's on the table in Survivor, clearly. I know there was a little bit of it, but I didn't see like a major pitch at emotional manipulation to like try to guilt
I,
trip someone, you know?
I think there's too much pride and poise
Yeah.
there. Like it's
So it's
almost
gonna look
like
desperate.
yeah, it's almost
Yeah.
like like in movies where the bad guy catches the good person, right?
Hmm.
And they're not going to get on their knees and beg because they already know their fate.
Right.
So it's almost like when you know your fate, you're going to do everything you can to get yourself out of it, kind of like James Bond does, and you're not going to do it. And I do think the only thing that clouded Cerie's judgment this season was Rizzo, because I do think that there might have been a little bit of a,
He's
he's young,
good.
he's like my son's age, you know
He's
what I
good.
mean? And he's like so happy and
Underestimated him a
excited to
little
be
bit.
there. Yeah, I think she put her guards down a little bit.
Yeah.
I think she would have saw the Devons thing as a shield if she was able to talk to Rizzo, kind of more so like strategy wise rather than this is my little birdie that feeds me information.
Right. Yeah, it was kind of a I know Aubrey got the credit. I don't actually think that was deserved, but that's my personal take. It was kind of a student becomes the teacher moment a little bit with
Yeah,
Riz God and
I
Suri.
agree. I
Yeah.
agree. And Aubrey gets zero credit on this podcast until she apologizes to Michelle. That's my stance. So I'm just gonna put
I
that
mean,
there.
she was chirping about her in this episode again.
Again, again,
Again.
another. We got to have Mish on here. We got to get this. I don't know where this one-sided beef is coming from, and I don't know just because
It's weird.
nobody else on this season is getting the. This is the reason why I lost, and this is what I'm gonna change to win. And it's one thing if she was like taking it in a way of being like, this is what I learned on how I was outplayed to
Correct.
lose. But
Correct.
that's not how she's wording it. She's
No.
sitting there being like,
And dude,
is
she
the
didn't just lose once. She's played like four times.
yeah, so I don't understand why she's so fixated on
On the
the
first,
reason she lost.
it's like you did it again at least once. I think twice. I think this is her fourth time. Maybe it's her third time, but I think it's her fourth time. So let me look that up
Yeah,
really quick to just
yeah.
see.
We'll just
Let me
yeah,
just
we'll
see exactly. Kill some time. We don't want any dead air,
yeah,
Paulie.
I don't want any dead air.
Tell me something.
I'm just gonna sit here and I'm gonna say overall, this episode, it proves again why would you want people who can win immunities still in
Four
the game?
times.
Four times. Only
She's
talking
played
about
four times.
only
You've gotten
talking
to
about
play
when she lost it.
four times. And you keep talking about the one time that you should have won. What about the other ones?
I will say playing Survivor 4 or 5 times is the equivalent of playing the challenge 10
12.
to 15 times.
12
Okay, yeah,
times. Yeah.
yeah. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah. Every Survivor season, and I imagine it takes a toll on you in this way, is probably like 3 seasons of the challenge. Because actually, shout out Tony Raines. Tony said this. He asked me one time, he was like, "Hey, Dev, how long did it take you? How many seasons did it take you to really feel like you like got it? Like what was going on in here? And you could like be yourself and you had kind of like not a stranglehold on the game, but you like understood your best avenue to success." And if you look at my first couple seasons, I mean, in Vendettas, I was 5 seconds away from the final. Kyle
Hmm.
literally beat me allegedly by five seconds in a
Yep.
purge to go to the final. So that one I like had my finger on the pulse a little bit, and then it was for me it was like 5 seasons.
Hmm.
So after that, once we got kind of past that point, I was like, oh, I get it. It's like it's
Hmm.
really not that difficult. I think you get that like the second time you play Survivor. Because you're playing, unless you're playing with majority returning players, like in this one, obviously everybody is on this uneven playing field, but they have brought in returning players back to play with people that have never played before.
Hmm.
You want to talk about a season you should win? That one.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Even in Big Brother, when they bring some returning players back, I mean, Paul famously went right back on season 19 and made it to the final two chair again. On
Yeah.
my season with returning players, all of the returning players made it to jury except for one. You know what I mean? And like it gives you such an advantage,
Huge.
A because of star power, B because you know how to play the game, and I think that this is another, like, this has been the most entertaining and exciting season Survivor has had in a long time. I think it rebooted the excitement behind Survivor. I mean, you got Christian going on, Jimmy Fallon. You've got Nikki Glacier commenting on Devin's and Ozzy's posts that they were gone, like saying she misses them. So like this has put Survivor back into that scope.
Mainstream conversation, yeah. I mean, the
Exactly.
marketing's working. They definitely increased the budget, obviously, with all of the kind of cameos and then upping the pot to 2 million. We haven't even talked about that. That's
Yeah.
huge. Anytime you
Huge.
double you double it. I mean, we did talk about it, but we haven't really talked about the impact that that's having. But where this episode leaves us is with our final five, and here they are:
Hmm.
Aubrey, Tiffany, Rizzo, Joe, and Jonathan.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's play deserves to be there, doesn't deserve to be there. Does or
Hmm.
doesn't deserve to
Does
be
or doesn't.
there based off of everything that's happened throughout the season up until this point. I'm going to rapid fire a name. You just say does or doesn't.
Hmm. Okay.
Joe,
Doesn't.
Jonathan,
Does.
Tiffany,
Does.
Aubrey,
Does not.
Rizzo.
Does not.
So you have two does, three does not.
Yes.
I will have a hard time arguing with that. I mean, now where we get into a bit of a philosophical conversation is there is an argument that everybody deserves to be there.
Hmm.
Now, if let's play a hypothetical, let's say Flippin's there in the final five, what would your answer be?
She deserves to be there. Yeah.
That's correct. You nailed that. That is 100% correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, that was the answer I was looking for.
Yeah,
So
that's it.
happy
And
I
I know
got it.
she definitely, people could argue she played the same kind of game as other people that I said does not deserve to be there, but she's flipping,
Yeah, no,
So
yeah,
I am a little biased.
yeah, 100% biased on that front. But I guess so. I just want to chat a little bit about what it means because I've been in a situation. Everybody who wins these shows, the haters come out of the woodwork and they're 10% of the people and 90% of the noise, and that's just how the world works. You will never. How many times have you left a positive Yelp review?
Never.
Zero. Yeah, you've probably also never left a negative one, but I bet you're about 10 times more likely if someone really fucked you over somewhere. You're
Oh
more
yeah.
if you had a really good experience somewhere versus had a terrible experience somewhere, you're way more likely to write the bad review. It's
Oh
just
yeah.
human nature. It's a get back. If
Yeah.
you have a good time, you think they got my money, I had a good time, the transaction is closed. We both
Yes.
held up our end of the bargain. So I say that to illustrate the point that haters are always going to be louder
Oh yeah.
than people that are rooting you on. And in any game, really, that I've ever seen, there will be, maybe with the exception of Rob on Traders this last time, there
Yeah.
will always be noise around they didn't deserve to win, they don't deserve to be there, whatever. I don't disagree with your list, but I would say, just on a philosophical level, that all of the people that are there right now, I have to give them the benefit of the doubt that they didn't fall into it accidentally and that they, in some capacity, were intentional about their gameplay. And maybe that their best chance at getting there was not doing a ton. Maybe their best chance at getting there was not being a threat. It's kind of like when CT comes in 280.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like he's
Yep.
like, this is part of what I've become such a threat. Now,
Hmm.
obviously, Rizzo wasn't coming in being like, I'm such a threat, but he latched on to the most dangerous person in the game and sold himself as an underling. And so
Hmm.
maybe that was his angle all along. We don't know. I'd love to talked to some of them about it, I think a couple of them would be like, "Oh yeah, no, it fell into place." Like I didn't I didn't see this one coming. I kind of blacked out for 3 weeks and then I was like in the final five. Like that definitely could be the case, but until I hear it from the horse's mouth, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt that this is intentional. And so with that, I will say I think there are people that are more deserving to be there, but I
Mm.
will say these five deserve to be there.
Okay, that's fair. That's a fair take. My reasons for the no's on Joe is because Joe plays that kind of game where he's getting pushed in the direction and he's just relying on winning comps, right? Which is fine. From a comp standpoint, for sure. I think he got lucky in the sense that I think everybody in the game knows that if they're sitting next to Joe, they're winning.
Correct.
I think
But
that can,
dude,
yeah,
that is he might be the best player ever to bring with you.
yeah, yes.
I wonder if he's ever received a vote.
I'm trying to remember on his initial
I don't think he's
season
got one this season.
because he made it to the final three on his season. But yeah, I don't think he's gotten voted for. And I think that that's because everybody's just like, yeah, just let this guy go to the end.
Yeah.
If he wins comps, can I be somebody that he brings? If I played with him the whole time,
What's so
um,
hilarious is the person that's the best at competitions is the biggest layup.
yeah, when it comes to Survivor standards, like, Joe on the challenge would have probably been in like four eliminations by now.
Yeah.
You
No, Joe,
know,
I mean, that's the thing is like he is clearly the best one at half the game. But because that isn't the half of the game that's valued, he's the
yeah,
worst one.
exactly.
Well, he's the
Ex
worst. He's got the least odds of winning.
yeah. Least
Yeah.
odds of winning. I think Rizzo also very low odds of winning if he gets there
No, it's
because
a three-horse race now.
yeah, exactly. It's
It's a
pretty
three-horse
much
race.
yeah, it's pretty much Aubrey, Jonathan,
And Tiffany.
and Tiffany, and all of them have their moments. And that's where I'm sitting at it. It's just Rizzo, I think he could have done more, but he's never going to win competitions. That's fine. He had the
Yeah.
ability to kind of, on his first season, he was the one making the calls towards like getting towards the end. So it's interesting to see him kind of play this completely different game. And his only claim to fame is that, like, I'm holding this idol all the way to the end.
It's
And it's almost
insane.
like everybody's letting him because
It's
they
the
don't
most
even think he can
powerful.
win.
It's the most powerful idol in the history of idols.
Yeah, well, he did the same thing on his first season.
Yeah, but this one's on Survivor 50.
I know.
It's for $2 million.
Like Rick Devens got voted out without an idol while he sat there and didn't play his idol. And this is where I kind of get into it where there's been times in old school Survivor where when people are sitting there getting to a point where they're like, this person has an idol, we're going in with this target.
I know none of them are worried about Rizzo winning though. And again, that's we called it having brass balls at the beginning of this, but really I think so he has again, I'm going to personally give him credit for making this intentional. He has made that idol so powerful by not being a threat. And if he played his cards right and he got into that final, let's just say with Joe and I don't know, pick Jonathan or Tiffany. If he had done some unseen kind of jury work before, if he's in there and Joe's in there with him, it's a two-horse race. And at that point, he's got a 50-50 shot. So like
Yeah.
in my mind, the more we talk it through, I'm kind of like, was this whole thing is he kind of Emily Flippin?
I don't know. He's not Emily Flippin because so he could have punched his way on his original season, I'm almost positive, by making fire to get there. And
Mm,
you would think, oh wow, I didn't make it to a final. after riding a whole season, masterminding, and riding my idol all the way to the end. I haven't seen the guy make fire once.
Oh,
I haven't seen
you
the
think you
guy
should be
make.
you think you should be working on his skills a little more?
Yeah, like he should have been like with Ozzy nonstop, being like, teach me how to make fire. Hey, everybody, like anything. And then if people were like, why is this guy trying to get me to teach him to make fire? Like, just not talk about it, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. That's fair. Well, we are going to pick our winners. You got Aubrey, Tiffany, Rizzo, Joe, and Jonathan. You only get one. Who's it going to be?
Oh man. Oh, this is tough. This is tough.
Actually, okay, you get two. Will want. Will win, want to win. Aubrey, Tiffany, Rizzo, Joe, Jonathan.
Will win, want to win. I think Tiffany's up on the chopping block next. She doesn't have the numbers. She's a goner, unless she wins immunity. Will win. I hate to say it, but I think it's Aubrey. I think
You've
she
been
will
saying the
win.
winners edit is evident.
The winner's edit is just right in your face.
Yeah, it's pretty
Right in
clear.
your face. I mean, like, try and be a little subtle,
Yeah,
And but who I would want to win, just because I'm friends with him, is Jonathan.
yeah,
And I think
that's
being
fair.
coached by Rob, I don't think he's getting as much credit as he should get for how he's been playing and who he's been knocking off.
Yeah, I'm gonna go a different direction. I think Tiffany's gonna win, and I want Rizzo to
Okay.
win.
Okay.
Yeah,
Make your calls.
I think Tiffany has an interesting angle because hear me out. Yes, she's up on the chopping block, right?
Hmm.
There's going to be immunity up for grabs.
Yeah.
And maybe it's one of those random ones that like benefits a girl.
Hmm.
There's like some weird ones where it's just like sometimes they can just like zone out a puzzle heavy. Like she's not winning a push-up contest, obviously, if Joe and Jonathan are in the mix. Like that's not going to happen. But who knows? Maybe there's a flyer out there. She can win, make it through, and get into that jury. And I think if she's in the jury, she has a really good chance of winning. But I want now Rizzo to win because I just think he's hilarious. I think it's even more
Yeah.
funny that he just hasn't done any work on the thing that maybe would have won him his last one.
Yeah. And 100%. And he's
It's
not going to
great. I
win
love
in
that.
immunity. Yeah. I love that he was just like, I'm just going to do this. I like that he talks smack into the camera. I mean, I'm a Rizzo fan. I just don't think he did anything to be in the position where he's in other than have an idol. And it's like everybody who had an idol that was a threat either got blindsided or was forced to flush out their idol.
Yeah, he's got a superpower.
He does. I could see one of the last eliminations being they have this ball competition where it's kind of timing, kind of hand-eye coordination, where it's like you put a ball in at the top, it starts going down in a different
I've seen
direction,
this.
and then you got to start adding balls and you got to catch and go and catch and go. I think that's on the horizon. And
Interesting.
and it'll be interesting to see who wins that. Out of the people left, I think Tiffany would have a great opportunity to win that one. I think Jonathan would have an opportunity to win that one. Joe did well doing that one on his season. So it's interesting. We do have some hitters on the competitive side of things.
Yeah. Well,
So
speaking of horizons, we've got a roast the host on the horizon for all
we
our
do.
avid listeners, and it's going to be really hard to top. But you guys continue to impress us. And what do we got for length on this roast the
Oh,
host?
buddy, we have a 3 minute
Oh my God!
roast the host.
Time you're gonna have to times it by two.
I'm timesing it by
We don't
two.
have 3 minutes unless you want to play it. Do you want to? Do we? How long do we want to spend on this segment? If we want to spend 10 minutes on it, we can play and pause and play and pause. Let's do that. We haven't done that.
We're gonna play and pause.
All right, let's
This
play and
is
pause.
I don't know the person's actual name.
Three
Well,
and a
his
half
name's
minutes is insane. That's a movie trailer,
that's a
people.
movie trailer. His name's Ronnie.
Ronnie,
His name is Ronnie.
this better be good, bud.
Yeah, this better be good, Ronnie. Let's see what we got here. Make sure my volume is up
This
over
better be
here.
good, Ronnie.
What's up, Paulie and Devin? This is Randomly Ronnie Jr. for the Roast the Host segment. This one is for Devin. Now, listen, Devin, you've done a great job in the challenge. Obviously, you've got a beautiful and successful Michelle as the girlfriend. Things are looking good for you. So you are going to get the roast today. Now, this one might come from a little bit of jealousy because in my life, I've gained some weight, lost some weight, gained some weight, lost some weight. And I'm looking at the episodes, and there was a segment where you guys were talking about Devin losing a bunch of weight and how at one point he had 8-pack abs, one point he had 4-pack abs, and one point he has 2-pack abs. And then if you watch it on the YouTube channel, there's a photo that comes up, and I'm thinking in my head, okay, I never remembered Devin from Are You the One? So he's gonna look different. Devin is a very average looking guy. He's very average. So I'm thinking, oh, okay, I don't know him from Are You the One? I only know him from the challenge. So Are You the One picture comes up, and it is Devin with, I guess, 4-pack abs, 8-pack abs, 2-pack abs.
Okay, pause.
Whatever, but the body was there.
Our guy did it again.
He did it again.
Our editor posted a photo of me from Champs vs. Stars. When we were talking about, you can see my pants. They say Champs vs. Stars on it. When we were talking about Are You the One, it actually, I didn't have abs in Are You the One. I definitely didn't have abs on Champs vs. Stars. We were going out every single night till 4 o'clock in the morning, and then dusting the stars and everything. But I was incredibly out of shape for Champs vs. Stars. The photo I'm talking about is actually on X on the Beach, and I will find it because that will solve Ronnie's confusion. But yes, it was another instance of the wrong photo.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna say, not an average looking guy. Not to say certain things, but you have to be attractive to be on like dating shows. You know what I
I
mean?
mean, I've gone on 15 reality television shows, and for the most part, they're not casting ugly people. But he's not cast. Actually, that's not true. Actually, there's a lot of ugly people on our show. That I'm way off there. We'll do a snake draft ugliest people next time. Just kidding. We would never do that. Everyone's beautiful in their own way, and their feelings are valid. Okay, back to the roast.
Back to the roast.
I'm not gonna, hold you on that. But my gosh, the diarrhea face that's still pudgy. The I could only imagine what Michelle has to see with your O face. I mean, you did not look chiseled in the chin. You were puffy as all can be. I mean, it was like your neck was detached from your actual body. The weight loss, yes, you had it. But if anyone were to see you like in a big jacket or a big coat, they would never know at that time you were actually in great shape and had 4-pack, 8-pack, or 2-pack abs. I've never seen such a thing like this. I've never seen somebody in great shape, yet they look like from the neck up just monstrously a mess. Like, I could not believe it. And the first person I was concerned for was Michelle, because I said, oh my gosh, like now I see, like in my head at least, I see Devin's O face because he's just a monstrous looking man, even when he loses weight. I got a round chin, I got a double chin, I got all the chubby, the little more cushion for the pushing kind of vibe, right? But at the very least, when I've lost weight, at least I look a little slimmer. No, not that, Devin. You just got the fattest, most monstrous looking face, even when you lose weight and have 4-pack, 8-pack, or 2-pack abs. I've never seen such a thing. It is like the photo that they put on the YouTube. It was Photoshopped. I've never seen such a thing. Look at that photo again. Go back to that episode. I don't know what episode it was, but I could not believe it. I couldn't believe the excitement behind, oh, he actually is from Are You the One? Okay, let's look at what he
Okay, pause.
And it was like, screwed off the
Okay, so we talked about this earlier. I do have a big kind of fleshy Irish chubby face. I always have, and I think I always will. And I have a pretty large head. But now I have to go back and look at the photo because I don't think I have a fat face in that photo. Maybe I do. We're going to have to go back and check it out.
We're gonna have to go back and check it out. I'm not seeing the pudgy face. I'm not seeing the fat face with the lost weight. The photos
No,
no. The photos that you posted on the Central Park lake looked like they could have been something used in an Abercrombie or
Dude,
Hollister.
that's what I'm saying.
Look,
well,
that's what I'm saying.
That was straight post water fast. I was like dialed.
Here's the thing. I'm going to break this down because I disagree wholeheartedly. Disagree. Having cheekbones, okay, having a pronounced chin with a dimple, right? These are features, okay?
Butt chin.
Yeah, these are features that people, when people are picking out modeling, people
bone smash to get my fat cheeks.
They bone smash. And the other thing that I'm just going to talk about here, it's a little weird to be thinking about you having sex.
contemplating my O face is definitely a thing, but you want to know what? I mainly want to say thank you to Ronnie for watching us on YouTube.
Yeah, Ronnie, thank you for watching us on YouTube.
Hey, no bad
That
blood here, Ronnie.
No, there's no bad blood here. We love it. He looks like he's a stand-up comedian of sorts or does comedy. He's not lying as I'm going through his Instagram. He's a self-aware king, and we love a
Okay, fair
self-aware
enough.
king. He
Well, let's
talks about
finish
the
his
double
roast.
chin.
Let's
It's
let's see
there.
what else Ronnie has to say.
We only have 19 seconds, so we're gonna let it
Okay, all
ride.
right. Well, hopefully he wraps it up in a little bit better way.
Yeah.
Face as if he was a Lego, and then plop the Lego face of today on a body that was, significantly better. I'll give you that. My gosh, I've never seen something like that. It was that was my roast the host. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I can't believe it still.
So you got a Lego head.
Dude, Lego Head is actually the funniest thing that he said the whole time. And I think Lego Head is chill. Lego Head is actually kind of fire. I'll give him that. Yeah.
Lego head is chill.
Yeah,
I will
Lego
say
Head, Lego Head is fire. But you want to know what? Here's the thing, Ronnie, and I've been on this. I've in the times that I have been in good shape, I have not gotten there through motivation from myself. I have gotten there from toxic motivation from the internet. And you want to know what? It works.
It
So,
works.
as badly as I don't want Ronnie thinking about my O face, I do want to get in better shape because Ronnie thinks I have an ugly O face. So I don't know if that makes sense or not, but it's an added piece of motivation in my already brilliant quest to have 4 abs by July 1st.
You know what? Here's the thing. When you guys all show up to the cruise in November, and Dev and I are
I'm gonna be
jacked out of our
jacked.
minds, shredded out of our minds,
Shredded.
chiseled faces. Oh my God. We're going to thank you guys for the roast the host segments. Keep them coming. Ronnie, I want to give you a round of applause.
You got to score it 1 to 10 with decimals.
Gotta score it. Lego Head kind of brought it up a little bit.
It was low before Lego Head.
It was very low before Lego Head. Lego Head for me put it at a 5.4.
Okay. Respectable 5.4. Still a failing grade, Ronnie. Okay, here's the thing. 3 minutes for one topic. It's too long.
Yeah.
So
there's two of us here.
I'm gonna
upset I didn't get a roast.
I'm gonna go 3.8.
Mm.
Which is gonna average him. So 5.4, 3.885. Wait, 5.4, 3.8. So 9.2, so 4.6 total. Okay. So total score 4.6. It's not bad.
Total score 4.6. Not bad.
Not terrible, not great.
Not terrible, not great.
I'm glad it was here. It helped us fill the end of the show out. So, we're happy with that.
I'm glad it was here. It was great. I like roasts. If you're gonna attack looks, you gotta make it funny.
And I think you'd have to be hot.
Yeah, or at least so hilariously ugly that it makes it funny. That's just where I'm at it. And it's also
Lego Head is good. Let's see if we can put a Lego next to my head.
If we can put a Lego head next to Devin's head, that would be great.
Can we put a Lego head next to Devin's head, please?
Yeah. Can we put a Lego head next to Devin's head? We want to make him look like the Batman Lego movie. If
kind
we
of
can
fire,
do that.
actually. No, that's Tony.
That's Tony. Tony is Batman.
Dude, Tony coaching his girls softball team is like one of the best pieces of content on the internet. I can't wait for that saga to continue.
Oh my God.
All right, well, that's going to wrap it up for us. But speaking of the cruise, we really do want to see you guys there. And we have cast announcements coming up. As soon as this whole multiple new viruses on cruise ship things blows over, we are going to make our cast announcements, but we're monitoring the situation and it's not affecting us literally at all. Everything's going to be dialed and it's not even the same cruise lines. So fear not, there is not another global pandemic on the horizon. In fact, things seem to be getting back to normal in some capacity, just kind of overall in life. It was a little wild year there for a little while, but I think we're all going to calm it down for the summer. You don't want to miss it. And we're super psyched to have you guys there. So, as always, I'm Devin Walker. He's Paulie Calafiore, and you all are wonderful. Paulie, take them away.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for commenting. The Paulie Dev Show on Instagram, on TikTok, Spotify, and YouTube. You all have been amazing. We are thankful for each and every one of you. And I'm stoked to see where this journey continues to go. So we'll be seeing you.
We'll be seeing you.